Have you noticed that there just seems to be like no landlords out there right now? As letting agents, it's really difficult to get landlord stock, new, fresh landlord stock on your books. But actually, I want to share something with you. Right now, there's more landlords than there has ever been. Let me explain to you why I believe that and why I know it's true. Let me take you back in time. Now, I don't know if you're as old as me and you remember lettings in 1990, but I certainly do. But I want to take you even further back than that. I want to take you back to the 1900s. Now, the 1900s, I want you to think of Scrooge and the Three Ghosts and all that sort of thing. That's the sort of era we're going back to. In the 1900s, the private rented sector, the PRS, the private rented sector, stood at a whopping 90%. What that means is, of all the houses in the UK, 90% of them were privately rented. Now what that means is there was lots of big landlord owners then. They were like factory owners, farmers. They tended to own most of the property stock at that point. And you'd find that the common man, as they were known then, would not be able to get a mortgage and would not be able to buy their own home, which is the reason why we were standing at 90% private rented sector. Now, over the next few years, we had World War I, we had World War II, we had the Protection from Eviction Act that came out in 1977, and we had something called statutory and protected tenancies. They are the type of tenancies where landlords have to leave the tenants in there. They have the right to stay there for the rest of their life. They can pass it on for 2 generations. So it could be your kids, your grandkids, or even your great-grandkids that get the property back at some point in the future. As a result of that, very low rents, protected tenancies, landlord just said, hell no, I'm not doing this, I'm out. But also at the same time, we had a rise in council accommodation. We also had a rise in social accommodation as well. And we had a rise in home ownership, all resulting in the private rented sector going down, down and down until we get to 1988. Can you remember 1988? I can. Arthur Scargill, miners' strikes, a 4-day week, the electricity getting cut off, rubbish piled outside. I can remember it. 1988. The private rented sector had got down to a shockingly low 7%. Just 7% of all the houses in the UK were privately rented in 1988. Now at that time we had Margaret Thatcher in power, we had recession, we had the whole issue around getting people back into work. The government spent over 250 hours in Parliament and they came out with what we know today of the assured short-hold tenancy. Okay, assured short-hold tenancy was brought out in 1988. If you're a bit of a geek, it was the 15th January 1989. It actually became effective and we operate in the manner to which we understand today. Now, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We put a lot of videos out there about the market, about the industry, and about how you can grow your letting agency. So don't forget to click subscribe. Also, I've got something really exciting at the end of this video, so don't disappear, hang around. I've got something you're really going to enjoy. Okay, so hold on. At 1988, we're at 7%. What happened next? Well, of course, now we've got the assured short-hold tenancy. We've got rid of the protected and statutory tenancies. Now landlords can get possession of their properties. They can get market rent for their properties as well. And also in the 90s, don't forget, we had the panel of lenders launch the buy-to-let mortgages. It became easier to buy properties as well. What happens is we've been on a massive growth trajectory. And right now, depending on which report you read, we're at around 21% private rented sector. So we're currently standing around 21% of all the houses that you see in the UK are privately rented. Now, it doesn't feel like this, does it? It feels like there's less landlords than ever. It feels like there's a massive shortage of landlords out there. And yet, if you look at it, we're way over. We're 3 times what we had in 1988. The trajectory is growing and growing and growing. And there's some reports out there saying we're going to be at 50% by 2050. So why does it feel so bad? Now, don't forget, at the end of this video, I'm going to give you something that's going to help you to generate more landlords. So hang around. You're going to love this. But why does it feel like there's no landlords out there? This is the scary bit. This is the thing that is making it feel like there's not enough landlords out there. You may have seen the reports that have been out recently that right now, if you go to a landlord and say, do you want to manage your property yourself or do you want to self-manage? Scarily, 60% 60% are choosing to self-manage. Now, what that means is 60% of landlords are choosing not to use letting agents. So although we've got 21% private rented sector, we've actually got around 16% choosing not to use us. I don't know about you, but I think this is one of the most scariest stats that's out there at the moment. 60% of landlords are choosing not to use letting agents, which leaves us, if you do the maths, with about 5% of the private rented sector, which is available to us and open to us for fully managed stock. Now, what we've got to learn to do is we've got to learn to optimize and to utilize this market. We can't ignore them anymore. We can't accept, oh, they're let only, they don't want to use letting agents. We have to do something about that. We have to learn to convert them from let only to fully managed. And let's be honest, do they know what they need to know in order to be a self-managing landlord anyway? I've been in this game for over 30 years. I've let and managed over 10,000 properties. I've been former president of ALA. I've been coaching letting agents for over a dozen years now. And I can tell you now that of all the landlords I've met, and this is following speaking on the landlord education circuit for years, I've never met a landlord that knows more than 7 pieces of legislation. And bearing in mind that there's over 170 pieces of legislation they have to adhere to, that means they're falling foul of rather a few of them. So we've got to change what we do, guys. So I want to help you. And what I've done is I've actually created a 1.5 hour totally free educational video just for you on how you can really optimize this really weird market we're in at the moment. The video will show you how you can generate more leads and get an extra 100 landlords on your books. It will show you how you can add revenue to your business and optimize these markets, and it will show you how you can generate more profit in your business too. Just think about that. If we've got more letting agents than we've ever had before, and they're chasing less landlords than we've ever had before, yet there's this market that's ignoring us, we need to do something, and I want to help you. So click on the link and hop over and grab my free training, 1.5 hours, on how you can generate more leads, get more landlords, add more revenue, build more profit, and make the most of this. I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for listening.